Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon and good evening to all of you. This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of correlation and regression, we will be considering the major currencies trading against the US dollar to see how we can use the correlational analysis of figuring out the relative strength and the weaknesses of these major currencies against dollar to figure out the optimum trading choices in terms of the instrument as well as in which direction it is more likely to move. And along with that, we will also be considering the moves in equity segment. As the US session is going to start soon, we will be paying particular attention to the developments in the US equity futures and also what has transpired in the European trading session to give us insight into what to expect in the North American trading session. Let us now head to the JForex4, the newly released trading platform from the Dukascopy Bank SA. This is the EURUSD chart with the each candle period defined at 5 minutes. And to get the range of last 2 hours and 4 hours, I have added this Donchian channel band of 24 and 48 respectively. To look at the immediate price action, the momentum, we have in place these SMA 24 and SMA 12 to get the average price prevalent over last 1 hour and 2 hours respectively. Now if we look at the immediate price action, here we have these sharp moves in the Euro USD, and this downfall has accelerated after the ADP report, in which the job gains were better than expected, and after that we also got initial jobless claims in which we saw less payments for the unemployment benefit than expected. So both these factors are pushing the dollar higher, and that's what we are seeing in the chart of the Euro USD as well. And in near term, I think we are pretty much likely to see the Euro USD breaking below this 1.05 range. So that possibility is there. Whether that is going to happen right now, right away, means in coming few hours, or if it is going to take some time, that is something which we will have to consider and take our trades accordingly. Pardon me for the call. Okay, all right, we resume now. And here, if we have to go for the trades in coming hours, we will have to trade cautiously, as we have seen there is a substantial move in Euro USD. And as a result of that, even if we want to go with the flow and go short, that is going to entail significant amount of risk, and it is not really a good idea to go for a buy trade while this downfall is still accelerating. So we will have to trade cautiously here, but the near-term expectation is that we might see the Euro USD breaching this prior swing low, which is there around 1.05. As the dollar strength is across the board, we are likely to see it continuing. And in yesterday's session, also we had talked about this phenomena of JPY being one of the weakest currency against the dollar. And if you had gone long in this trade, the USDJPY is continuing to climb in today's session also, with these substantial gains, and particularly after this ADP report, where it has gained almost 100 pips from the lower levels. So let's see in relative terms if JPY is most bearish one in today's session or not. So we will have to look at the timeline of this swing high and swing low formation. The first swing high came in at 6 6 GMT, and after that it has continued to make higher highs, with this immediate swing high coming in at 14:55 GMT. Now let's compare it with the Euro USD timeline of the event. So here we have the Euro USD with slightly less bearish momentum. The JPY is a lot more bearish as it didn't really make a fresh swing high on the 4-hourly timeline. But for Euro USD, we got this 4-hourly swing high in place. After that, this fresh decline is there. So in this count, the USDJPY is leading in bearish momentum. Likely to be the best bet for the continuation of the dollar rally. So if you are expecting the dollar to remain strong in coming hours, then the USD/JPY seems like a preferred bet in comparison to Euro USD. But before we can conclude, of course, we have to consider all the major currency crosses, including the AUD/USD, GBPUSD, NZD/USD, USDCAD, USDCHF as well. So now if we consider the momentum in AUD/USD, it is even less bearish than the euro. So we have this fresh swing high formation at 14:15 GMT for euro that had happened quite earlier. So the AUD/USD remained strong even after this immediate move on the higher side, and only after the release of the ADP report we have this decline being seen in AUD, which is pushing the dollar higher and other currencies lower. So that flow is also visible in case of AUD, but it is less bearish compared to the euro. And if we look at the higher time frame chart, the formation is not exactly of lower lows for the AUD USD. Instead, we had this immediate swing high, which was higher. So we can't really say if the AUD is likely to decline toward this immediate swing low. But for euro, that remains a possibility, and for USDJPY also we have this clear-cut formation of higher highs and higher lows. Even though the USDJPY is sitting at the very top, we still have the momentum in our favor. But as I said, the risk-reward ratio is not exactly good at the moment, so we will have to trade cautiously. Now let's consider the case of GBPUSD. The GBP has also remained weaker in today's session, and it seems to be even on the weaker footing compared to the euro, with this immediate swing high, 4-hourly high, coming in quite early in the day during the Asian trading hours. After that, it has been a story of continuous lower lows and lower highs formation. With this decline, the GBP has pretty much reached this immediate swing low level. It is not really far off, and this time around it is likely to break past this 1.19 mark as well. So that possibility is there, and we can put the momentum, the bearishness of the GBP ahead of the Euro USD, with this magnitude of decline also being quite large in comparison to the euro. Now let's see what's the story for NZD USD. The NZD is trading almost on the lines of its Asia Pacific peer AUD. So this swing high came in quite late at 14:15 GMT. After that, it has picked up on the lower side, but only recently after the reports from economic releases from the United States. So we also have to remain wary of shorting the NZD. I think NZD and AUD can be shortlisted for possible against the trend trades whenever stabilization happens. Not straight away, but as and when we have stabilization after consolidation, we can indeed take our chances in these currencies. So that possibility is there. But here the immediate momentum is on the bearish line, so we do have to be mindful of that factor as well. Let's consider USDCAD and USDCHF. CAD also seems to be lagging in the bearishness. In yesterday's session, it was one of the strongest currency against the US dollar, and in today's session as well, it was trading quite strong. And in terms of the momentum, The USDCAD is seemingly the least bearish one of all the major currencies which we have seen so far, as this immediate swing low came in quite late at 15:15 GMT, whereas most other currencies turned the corner quite earlier. So we have to keep an eye on USD CAD whenever the dollar's bullish momentum is going to wane, and after due consolidation we can start looking for the opportunities to go for scalping trades against the trend, against the immediate trend. But right now here also I think it is better to adopt a wait and watch approach. The USDCHF is not that strong. The momentum is with the dollar, with CHF on the back foot. Now let's consider its timeline of the rise. It is in line with the trajectory of Euro and the GBP. So it is trading pretty much the way other European peers have traded for the day. This swing low came in quite early, and after that it was in consolidation phase with this surge in the dollar coming in couple of the half an hour back and then pushing the USDCHF higher. So the momentum is not that strong as is the case with the GBP or the JPY, but it is nonetheless bearish, and we have to go with the flow and keep looking for opportunities to go long in the USDCHF. But then we have better choice in USDJPY. So if you have the opportunity to go long in the dollar, I think that should be in USDJPY. Even though it is sitting at the very top, we still have the momentum which is strongly bullish, and JPY being the most bearish currency against the dollar, this is likely to be a better idea, but not straight away. Maybe after consolidation, if we see some sort of correction and USDJPY holding towards this immediate swing high, not falling below this immediate swing low. In that scenario, we can indeed take our chances. But if suppose in later hours we see the momentum losing, and in that case we have USD CAD, which is a currency which you can keep an eye on for possible reversal in the dollar, as CAD being one of the strongest currency against the dollar. The contra trend trades can be taken in USD CAD, but after due consolidation. So here we have this whole spectrum of currencies, with the JPY being the most bearish and the CAD being the least bearish against the dollar in today's session. The dollar is bullish against almost all of the currencies, but only it's a matter of degree, and we have this relational analysis done with CAD, a more favorable instrument for going against the trend, and USDJPY being the best possible bet for going with a trend. So these are the currency development. Now let's turn to the equity segment. In equity, we have seen this decline in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and here also we have seen acceleration in this decline after the US data releases, and the momentum is bearish at the moment. But how far bearish, that is the question to be answered using this relational analysis. And I think it is not exactly bearish, rather it is trading within the range. So we have this immediate swing low in place around 32,800. So Dow is somewhat higher than that, so we do have the space for the Dow to run lower, but we will have to pay attention to the immediate price action, and after due consolidation we can shift our stance and start looking for the long trades as well. So now if we have to look at the relative strength and weaknesses of these major equity indices for the US, let's consider the timeline of the rise and the decline. So for the S&P 500, it was having a strong momentum on the upside in the initial hours, but after that all those gains evaporated, and here we have the S&P 500 trading at the lowest point of the day, and it is also trading within the range with these resistance coming into play after getting closer to the immediate swing high. Now if we have to look at the relative strength and the weakness, let's consider this immediate swing high and swing low formation. This came in at 14:35 GMT, and after that the low at 15:15 GMT. For the S&P 500, the timeline is the same, so there is not much of a difference. Now if we look at the magnitude, it is around 1 percentage point. For the Dow, it is little less than 1 percentage point, but almost similar. Let's consider for the Nasdaq. The decline is little over 1 percentage point, and timeline is almost similar. So only in terms of the magnitude there is higher volatility in Nasdaq in comparison to S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Otherwise the trajectory is almost similar, identical you can say. So there is not much of a difference on that count, but still, given the volatility being higher in the Nasdaq, I think it will be a better bet to go with that and keep looking for the opportunities to trade in the Nasdaq in comparison to other equity indices of the United States. But here, these equity indices being in range, we will have to trade cautiously. Maybe after the consolidation, we can think about going for a long trade, so that possibility is there. So pay attention to that. Watch out for the immediate price action after the release or after the start of North American trading session, and the opportunities are likely to come your way. So that's all from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, do write to me in the feedback, and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Thank you all for joining in. I will be back tomorrow with the fresh analysis of the market developments depending on what kind of price action we see in the European trading session. Depending on that, or you can say taking that into account, we can plan our strategies going into the the North American trading session. Do join for insight into the correlational aspects of these major currencies and the equity indices for the United States. See you tomorrow. Have a fabulous time ahead and a profitable day. Thank you all for joining in. Goodbye.